I started there as a treasury manager to support the interim treasurer. But after 6 months, basically, a permanent treasurer was recruited. And I have to say that this guy, his name is Stan Swaap, is probably the guy that has had kind of most influence on my career, or at least on the way treasury is being practiced. He and I built the treasury group there from, let's say, the two of us to a group of 8-9 people, with me building a cash management infrastructure, he mainly focusing on the financing, and recruited people over time, implement infrastructure, implemented cash pools across the globe, across hundreds of different legal entities, multiple countries, and so forth. He kind of learned me to think more in terms of getting things done versus being the treasury professional, or I should probably say the treasury professional versus the business partner. Was a pretty difficult job at that time, to get things done. It was major acquisitions were done. It was pretty decentralized organization, and we wanted to centralize part of the treasury activities and all the people on board to get things done. And that really changed my attitude and my way of working a lot, driven by kind of his spirit and open mind to change things, and also to sometimes compromise in maybe not having the perfect solution from a treasury perspective, but having a solution and keep the people on board. I think he was very good at that. Darling was prior to acquiring Vion Ingredients, was a pretty much a domestic company. As such, didn't have the treasury organization to kind of absorb this new organization into. So that gave me the opportunity to basically build the whole treasury organization from scratch for the international organization, is what we refer to now as, previously Vion Ingredients. That was really everything, building or selecting and implementing a new treasury management system that we ultimately are using for the whole group now. Doing all kind of projects in the various regions in the world, from cash management, FX, policies, the whole policy framework, SOX implementation, as I referred to on the engine, now also had to be introduced into the new organization that Darling acquired. Certain financing facilities, even though the corporate finance function was here in Texas, there were a number of financing facilities that we were implementing. And I think ultimately, and then I think different than under Amgen, had a very intensive relationship with the US over here. The treasurer, who for him was kind of this whole big acquisition, as they doubled in size with this acquisition, and the international aspects of it, was also new for the organization and him. So we had to collaborate, pretty closely. And so that was a totally different setting as with Amgen. And, from financial restructuring, we went back to, building a treasury organization. And obviously there was a lot of fun because, from my perspective and kind of at my stage in my career, I'm looking for challenges and, ways to add value to the company rather than, being part of a very steady, stable treasury community and let's say, do my thing. And that was, that were very interesting years. Take as many opportunities as you get, especially in the beginning of your career. Do different things. Don't stick to kind of doing the same routine every day, but are open for change, whether that's within your company, whether that's change of companies, whether that's accepting a job outside of your home, so to speak, your home base. Do that, because I think the more you do, the more different things you do, the more you learn and the more you develop yourself. The other kind of lesson I learned is we in the treasury world sometimes get to live in our own little bubble and are sometimes over-engineering, kind of approaching our challenges sometimes a little bit too academically. And that makes it sometimes difficult to get things actually done. sometimes just also be pragmatic and get things done, and maybe, score the 90% and not the 100% that you intended. And then I think the further you get into your career, the more important it's going to be to have your network, both inside and as well as outside your company. And I think that's going to determine whether you're going to be successful or not.